as you can see, we are in the final stages. There's more green checks on the screen than there are not. So we are in the final stage of the budget. This is our last budget presentation. We're at the budget hearing meeting, which includes, as we had said, a budget hearing. So this is the last stop before we have our budget vote on May 16th. Excuse me. Before I begin, I wanted to point out two things since the New York State budget was enacted that have impacted our district. First is that our foundation aid increased around $45,000 in the latest school runs. However, the expense-based aids also changed a little bit. So the total state aid, including foundation aid and all our expense-based aids, puts us at about $36,000 increase over where we thought we would be in the previous budget run aids. So the second thing that's important besides the slight change is that the high impact tutoring set aside was not included, which is actually gives us more freedom and actually allows us without parameters to actually access, God bless you, the almost $12.5 million that we receive from New York State. So almost all of that is usable with the likely exception of about $400,000 in pre-K monies, because as you know, we generally do not have people that bid on our RFPs because there's no bill to change the structure of how you can spend that money. So these are all numbers that you've seen before. Our total 23-24 budget is just over $59 million, which is a 2.79% increase over this current school year's budget, the 22-23 budget. It is a tax levy change to the taxpayers of a 2.43% increase, which is just under the allowable tax cap of 2.44%. So again, in review, some of our budget expenditures and where you'll see changes. The first is over $500,000 in salaries. These are contractual increases, and when I say contracts, I mean to our 5 units that we have increases with. Employee benefits is a very big increase, over 7.5% and over $1 million. This includes health benefits and retirement benefits that have gone up tremendously this year. Next, we have a utilities and fuel line increase of over 40%. This is not anything unlike what you have been seeing in your homes with the cost of electricity, the cost of fuel, the cost of gas, et cetera, increases over the course of all of our properties. This results in an almost $300,000 increase on this line for us as a district. The $90,000 line in debt service is because we are beginning our middle school HVAC project, and this is our first year cost on the bond. Next, we have a contractual line increase of almost $1.3 million. This, as we had talked about in our previous budget presentations, is to ensure that our students all have appropriate programming, as well as we're meeting the instructional technology needs of our students and our staff and maintaining the increase in technologies that we've seen in our district since COVID. The other interesting piece about this slide is the almost $1.9 decrease in the interfund transfer. The interfund transfer is the monies that we put into the 22-23 school year from various lines in order to be able to partially fund the $6 million HVAC project at our middle school. So that is an overview of the expenditures. We built this budget so that we can maintain our class sizes, all of our programs that we have at our schools, that we have the appropriate infrastructure, and that we are meeting our contractual obligations. There are many lines in here where we have money set aside to ensure that we have a safe and supportive learning environment, as our mission calls on us to do. We also, as I already had talked about, strengthen, update, and expand our technology infrastructure. The next is an overview of our revenue sources. As you know, the majority of our budget comes from our property taxes. Over $40 million comes from property taxes. I spoke a little bit before about the state and federal resources where we get income, such as the state aid monies that I just spoke about. The decrease in the appropriation of fund balance, again, is because of the middle school HVAC project. So we have a lot of impact this year based on things that we had to do last year with our budget in order to be able to support the middle school HVAC project. So that is the total for where we earn the majority of our revenue. And again, just a reminder that on May 16th, there was an error in my Pville Press. So I said that voting started at 6, and Donna absolutely reminded me. And I think actually somebody called in. We are not starting at 6. We are starting at 6:30 in the morning on Tuesday, May 16th, in the middle school multi-purpose room. So I encourage everyone to come out and vote. And that is the end of the budget hearing presentation.
All right, thank you.